Welcome back to FS Elite's coverage from Flight Sim Expo 2025. My name is Trevor, and I'm here with Tom from IVAO. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
It's great to have you in our interview today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, awesome. Tell us about yourself. We just want to get to know you and ask you, some questions about you and what you love to do about and what you love about IVAO. So
sure. So a little bit of my background. I have been, my current role is I'm on the board of governors for IVAO, and my role is as the secretary and the public relations officer. But I've been a member since 2000. And came from SATCO back in the day with the split, and ended up at IVAO. I utilized that a lot when I was a teenager, and it helped me a lot with real-world flight training. I did end up going to Embry-Riddle. I am a commercial multi-engine rated pilot. I've got about 3,000 hours. I did fly corporate jets for a while until I did kind of let go of that and do a complete career change and get into healthcare and clinical research. So complete shift in that. But now in my life, I have the time to be able to dedicate to kind of giving back to the community. And so that's where I've gotten back on staff and gotten really active in our community as a way to give back. Because I see it as not just something that's great for hobbyists that are involved with air traffic control or flying online for fun, but also young people that want to get into aviation, get training, learn more about the industry, and develop their careers. So a little bit of both there.
Yeah, and that really resonates with me. I'm someone who is a pilot as well, and has gone through that whole online air traffic control thing, online ATC, and it helped me immensely in my training. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Can you talk about, as far as pilots who join the network and the ATC, what's kind of the path if you want to just be a pilot, or if you want to just be an ATC, or can you be both?
Yeah, you can do either one or both. And I find that a lot of the people that get involved do want to do both. That's going to be the majority of what I see, and we're happy to accommodate that. You can receive dual training. You can do it all at the same time, depending on the person. Some people it's better one or the other, first or second. Instead of combining the training at the same time. But they do kind of speak to each other. So if you're training somebody to be a pilot, they're going to understand controlling a little bit better, and vice versa. So the pathways do combine most of the time, I would say.
In order to apply to be a pilot or apply to be an ATC, just go to your website, you sign up there. Is there a quiz that you have to take or some sort of knowledge test that you have to pass?
So there's no initial, I have to take a quiz to be able to connect, no. But the pathways are going to be different per division. So you'll join, there is guidance about how to get in touch with people in your division, Discord servers, all that kind of stuff. There's request forms. You can go online and just sign up for training, either one that you want, and we're generally quick. That's one of the things that we maintain some pride about, is being able to get people in quickly, get them trained quickly and professionally, and get them going as fast as they can to be able to enjoy the network. But each division is going to have some individualized training. However, there are core exams. So it's mostly ICAO based, but they'll do a theoretical test for each rating and a practical exam as well with an examiner.
Can you talk a little bit about how the organization is structured? You're an international, worldwide organization. There's, 250,000 registered, 80,000 you said about or so that are active. And then that's worldwide. So you have different governing bodies, I guess, that you would work within in the real world. So air traffic controllers might be trained differently in Europe versus the United States. How do you adapt to that sort of level of training?
So that's one of the more difficult questions, and it's something that we're sorting out right now. In our older infrastructure, which is still in place, it was pretty much everybody gets the same. And the different divisions would adapt their marking or grading standards for the practical exams. What we're looking at, though, in the future is individualizing some of those exams per divisions and getting the local regulatory bodies, that being what you're quizzed on. So if you're in the U.S., you're being quizzed on FAA knowledge and stuff. So it's one of those things that has been a weakness for a while, where we've had to teach everybody ICAO stuff and then say, okay, forget about that, and now we're going to go back to your FAA FAA stuff for your division. That's something that we're kind of pushing out the door. We do have a brand new training system that's about 85% complete. They're really just, the back end is done. They're working on the front end of it and getting the content loaded. And so that's going to be a new shiny asset that we'll be showing off here in the near future.
In the U.S., at least lately, there's been a lot of talk about air traffic controller training and the process that's involved for that. It takes years. For someone who wants to become involved with IVAO as an air traffic controller, is that also years process, or is it a much shorter time frame? Or
well, I mean, when it comes to getting rated by the FAA, you have to know every bit of every detail of every piece of airspace that you're working, and I think that that's an impossible goal to strive to achieve when we're dealing with people that really just want to do this for fun. Not to say that quality isn't a priority, but I think that somebody can really get up to speed and get controlling within a few months, be working ground within a few weeks. I think that's more of our time frames, because what we would rather do is be able to teach people how to find the information that they need quickly. So not necessarily memorizing every little bit of every procedure, but being able to pull it quickly, read it, understand it, and then communicate. So we are much faster with that. Not to speak ill of our competitor that does kind of the opposite. They want at the very deep knowledge of every bit of airspace, and that's just one of our differences. But we do get people through and trained up faster.
So is there a process in place to assure that air traffic controllers are meeting a certain quality standard, or that pilots can report, or air traffic controllers can report on pilots? Do you have some obviously you have a lot of different regulations that you'd have to follow. How does that work on a worldwide basis?
So generally speaking, it's kind of maintained by network supervisors and also training staff. You'll find that a lot of the training staff are going to be just flying around or sitting there and observing on frequency. So if you get somebody that, say, they did all their training 15 years ago and they're just connecting, they're not proficient, that training staff will just reach out and say, hey, come on, let's do some remedial training. In extreme situations, we can take away ratings and stuff, which is the last thing we want to do. Everybody's there for the same reasons, to enjoy themselves and enjoy the network that we have. So there is quality control with that, but we're not brutal about it, if that's the right word to use. But there is an expectation of proficiency.
Yeah, cool. Let's take a quick break. I want to talk to you about the software that's involved and kind of how to get connected to the network and how to get started. But we'll take a quick break and a word from our sponsor, and then we'll be right back with Tom from IVAO.
Flight panels. Flight panels gives you the ability to use your Stream Deck in order to manipulate buttons, switches, lights, and so much more for a variety of aircraft. Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out how you can save 15%.
All right, we're back with Tom from IVAO. And Tom, before the break, we were talking about kind of the process of becoming an air traffic controller and the quality assurances and just the general idea behind the network. Can you talk about what sort of software I would need as a pilot or maybe as a controller to be involved with the network?
Sure. So we develop all of our software in-house. And it is something we're very proud of. There's a controller client and a pilot client. They're named Aurora and Altitude, respectively. And they're just downloaded immediately after you sign up. So you sign up, there's an email that's sent to you and a page that's going to say, hey, what are my next steps? And right there is the software that you can get. And so we do maintain that. Like I said, it is internally developed. And we've been able to bring some really cool updates to it.
From I will sign up, get involved. Compatibility-wise, is it any flight sim, X-Plane, Microsoft Flight Sim, anything back to one of the earlier FSX sort of days?
So we just cut support for FSX.
Okay.
So FS 2020 on. Mm-hmm. And then also X-Plane and all that can be connected.
Great, okay.
Yeah, the reason that we had to do that is so we have new server protocols that we're going to be rolling out. Our DevOps team is working really hard on it. And the goal is to get our refresh rates close to that of a first-person shooter. So it's going to enable some really cool special operations stuff, formation flying, and even just flying with your buddies and it not staggering like we've had with all of the online networks, and not having a very quick refresh rate. So that's kind of a big cool thing that's coming down the pipe.
That's great. What advice would you give to someone who just signed up to make the most of their experience? Should they try to get involved with everything, air traffic control and piloting? Should they, explore the world? What would be the best way to expose someone to IVAO?
Yeah, I mean, explore the world. I love that. That's a great way to do it. But also take advantage of the fellowship. I think that is our greatest strength, is our people. I mean, we have a staff of about 800, which is just insane. But we all kind of get along and have a good time, and there's Discord channels for every division. There's also a family Discord server that we have, and you'll find at any time of the day from anywhere in the world somebody there or a bunch of people just kind of chilling and having a conversation, and it brings people together. Which is really, really cool, and we really strive to stay out of geopolitics. So speaking on that, I think one of my favorite moments that I like to bring up was I remember being in it was actually an old TeamSpeak 3 channel, with the director of the Israeli division and the Iranian division. And like just thinking about that right now, geopolitically is insane, but here like everybody is together and getting along because it is that common goal. So I would say yes, explore the world and really push on the fellowship. And if I travel to Europe, for example, I will not spend a dime on a place to stay. I will go country to country to country and have people say, hey, come stay with me. And then I have my tour guides and stuff. Same with me. Like right now, I've got a house guest from the Canary Islands with me in Los Angeles. So that's the big thing that I like to always push about us, is that fellowship and like the kindness across the world.
Yeah, it's just kind of a real microcosm of our experiences within the flight sim world. Is it's very welcoming, very open.
Yeah.
Can you maybe talk about the cost? What is the cost to become a member of IVAO?
So it's free. Everything is for free, and we also strive for that, like to always be the case. My role on the board, we do the strategic planning, and the ideas of, because we are donation based, we are a nonprofit based out of Belgium, so everything is sponsorship and donations, and sometimes that gets a little tight, and the ideas have floated around over the years about some kind of pay for play, and that's quickly rejected. We refuse to do it, even to the level of when we do donation campaigns and stuff like that, we're not pushing you can do this if you pay money. We need to keep things as affordable across the world. I mean, something that might be, say, 10 euros for somebody in the European Union, the equivalent of that in Brazil is like $50. And so we have to understand that there's really no compatible currency, if you will, and that we cannot mix in social economic status with that at all. So we have to always offer that free product.
You talked a little bit about strategy. I kind of want to know, what do you see where do you see the network going? What do you see being the next big kind of advancements in 5 years? Is there, something that you're really looking forward to seeing within IVAO?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that one of the cool things I mentioned about the server protocols, that's going to be a pretty big thing, and we're going to probably lean hard into special operations because that will be uniquely us. Also, we have a new voice server that's going to be coming online that simulates true VHF. So it's going to take into account antenna locations, antenna heights, terrain, all that. Company frequencies. So like if somebody has a virtual airline, they're going to be able to have company frequencies to call dispatch or do whatever. So we are literally going to be simulating a VHF environment, which I think is super cool. So that's going to be just kind of a neat thing. And we're also pushing realism a little bit more. We recently have published some regulations that do require the use of voice, at least one way. You have to be able to receive voice. So that removes some of the controller frustration of typing out clearances and stuff. And then also we've put in regulations about having charts on board and knowledge of procedures. Granted, we don't expect everybody to know everything, And the first attitude, if somebody is struggling, is not to chastise, but to help. That's always been our thing, is just help the person. And then I really want to see AI integration in the future. I think that is a huge thing to fill in the gaps. I would love to see AI in providing services in between controllers. Say, if there's a sector that's offline, that would be a huge thing for us. And I think it would be a huge thing for anybody that would work with us in the future as well.
Yeah, I can only imagine where that will take us.
Absolutely.
That's really good. You're a busy guy, it sounds like. You do a lot of, wear a lot of different hats. When you fly on the network, what's your favorite route to fly or favorite place to get air traffic control services from the network?
Yeah, fair enough. So it depends on my mood. So there are times when I want to be showing my presence, but not completely present the whole time. I'll be sitting there and typing a document while autopilot George is flying along. And so I'll choose some remote place where people will see that I'm around, but I'm probably busy doing something. But then the majority of the time, though, I like to look and see where there are the most different controllers online. Like if it's going to be going from the UK to Dubai or something and going across all these different sectors and these different countries, and I don't know, just hearing all the different accents and like hearing all the voices of people from all over the world, that's the one I like the most. And really just remembering that this is an organization that's just bringing people from around the world all together in this environment. And I keep mentioning fellowship and all that. That's part of it there, just being able to come in contact with that many people.
That's great. And I think that's a great way to finish it. So, Tom, really appreciate your time today. Thank you for sitting down with us. We really appreciate talking with you and your insights into the networks.
Of course.
This interview has been brought to you by Meridian GMT, and we really appreciate you tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. This has been Trevor. Take care.
Flight panels. With over 80 aircraft profiles available, there are plenty of options for you to be able to configure for your Stream Deck. From the likes of the Phoenix series, the PMDG series, and so many more, right down to the Cessna 152, there is a flight panel just for you. Use code FSElite at flightpanels.io at the checkout to save 15% on your next order.
Thanks for watching. If you want more of our coverage of Flight Sim Expo 2025, click on these videos.